Star Jones. She's a Today Show legal analyst and national spokesperson for the National Association of Professional Women. First, let me get your take on her comment that we promise not to screw it up. The word obviously standing out there, you know. Is that a strategy as a female CEO? What do you make for that?
I think probably because Marissa is extremely in tune with the criticism that she has received every time she makes a move. She makes bold moves.
But to make the choice of the bold language, is that a way of saying hip, contemporary, or saying I run this, I'm going to use the language I choose?
Tumblr is a hip and contemporary entity. So she's bought a hip contemporary entity. She's going to step right in there. I expect big things from Marissa Mayer all the time. She's typical of the kind of NAPW woman we want. Someone who makes bold moves for their own success. They take control of their own destiny, but she gets a lot of criticism about it at every single turn, from her decisions to pull the workforce back into the actual Yahoo offices, which I think is going to begin in the next week or two, to her decision to go back to work fairly quickly after she gave birth.
Well, let me ask you personally, is it stunning, and what are the women with the National Association of Professional Women saying, that here we are, 2013, another successful woman heading a big technology company, quite honestly, and she gets what I think some people would see as the petty criticism that we would have seen 15, 20 years ago. Every action over-scrutinized in ways that it's believed men would not receive.
Terrence, I think you would agree with me that women are so not a monolith. No. We run the gamut of everything, and my organization completely represents women from the young entrepreneur all the way up to the CEO. Marissa Mayer, I think, in some ways is a lot like a female politician. There's an expectation, sometimes unreasonable, for a woman in a CEO's position to always align themselves with what is perceived to be women's issues. The stay-at-home mom, the work-from-home mom.
Maternity leave,
because she really jumped right into that. Similar to when you deal with a female politician, you expect that the laws that she will put forth will be more amenable to a woman's rights, a woman's issues. The same kinds of criticisms don't happen for male CEOs or for male politicians, when in reality it's just really the frustration of Americans because we don't have affordable child care. We're one of the few nations that are left, civilized nations, that don't give universal pregnancy leave. We're frustrated as Americans, so I think in some ways we take it out on these very successful women.
You and the organization take a look at a number of issues women face in the workplace, including something very interesting about being, or at least wanting to be rescued. Is that a thing of the past, or are we seeing this pattern? And explain to people what it even means.
You know, it's that sort of fairy godmother mentality that I'm looking for someone or the person to ride in on the white horse and save me, when women in reality have to be our own saviors. We have to create our own realities. We have to be successful in our own rights and stand in that space.
Don't you think we all know that at this point?
You know, you know it, but do you actually internalize it?
And implement it.
And utilize your mentorships and your sponsorships and relationships. You and I have a wonderful working relationship. We go hand in hand. If you know about something, you tell me about it, and that's the women that we work around. That's what we have to do more of, and stop looking for someone to save us. You've been paying attention to this Jodi Arias case, and as you think about it, I think she's in the position she's in today because she spent so much time looking for somebody else to try to help her out of her situation.
And that is a heck of a turn from Marissa to
I know.
this topic, but nonetheless,
left brain meets right brain.
Yeah, left brain meets legal brain meets professional woman. But nevertheless, in the Jodi Arias, I do have to ask you, she didn't take the stand today. There's been some kind of stall. Her attorneys said that a witness who had planned to say complimentary things about Jodi had received death threats and could not take the stand here. We're waiting tomorrow to see if Jodi Arias asks the jury to spare her, give her life in prison. What do you think she'll say?
She has no choice but to actually ask for...
Well, she said she wants to die.
Well, you know what? Jodi Arias has, as we've talked about before, lied at every single turn. The big problem with her in showing mitigation, you want to show that she's a young woman. You want to show that she does have a life to live. You want to show that maybe she has some good qualities that you can pull out. This is very difficult in this case. You have to beg for her life. I'm not sure, because given her volatile nature, she will be the one that will be the best equipped to beg for her life. It might be better for simply the defense attorney stand up there and ask for her life. But you only need one juror. This must be unanimous. And if one juror can find one redeeming quality in this young woman, then that juror can hang it up and she'll serve life in prison.
All things discussed with Star Jones today. Thank you very much, Women Around People. You're the spokesperson for the National Association of Professional Women, looking at any and all things affecting women in the workplace and our families. Thank you very much, Star.
Thank you.
For having you on. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by Citrical.